litigation exists for businesses, right? Recently, small claims is now up to $10,000. So if they have an issue, they're going to say, I'm going to sue you in small claims, right? And then I'm going to appeal the small claims. And then I'm going to go ahead and file another action against you de novo, which means we just start all over again. Okay? Right? Limited jurisdiction up to $25,000. Unlimited. Well, that's self-explanatory, right? Workman's comp injuries. Do you have employees? If you do, you better worry about it. Okay? Personal injury. Like I said, we love personal injury. That's my favorite type of civil litigation, actually. Right? I jump up for joy when I get a personal injury case. Why?
Easy.
Well, depends on the case. Right? And depends on how well you take your cases. I don't take every case that comes to my office. I take the cases that I know I can properly defend. Right? Or, I'm sorry?
Your forte.
My forte. That's right. My skill set is being the rainmaker, right? But it's not this. I don't make the decisions on all the cases. I have a 30-year veteran that's one of our partners. He makes the decisions on the cases. Why? Because I know he is incredibly skilled as a civil litigator. He is an incredible civil litigator. To this day, I have never met that. And I've met hundreds. Okay? Which is why I recruited him like no tomorrow. Right? So, what happens with judgment? We talked about that. Let's talk about how we avoid this. Can you always avoid judgments? Can you always avoid civil litigation? No, you cannot. Why can't you? Sorry? Laura, that's why I love you so much. Right? You are born into a litigious society. You exist into a litigious society, and you reign supreme in a litigious society. Right? Yeah, well, that's where you are, my friend. Right? You're in California, so what can we do to minimize this? We can understand concepts. We can understand where we are. The first concept I want to talk about before we get into how to protect ourselves is we need to know what subjects ourselves to liability. One of the key things that may do that is something called respondent superior. What does that mean? Does anyone know? Bob, you can't answer. Anyone else know? Basically, that means that the actions of the people that are under your control can be your responsibility. Well, that's kind of messed up. I didn't do it, right? Especially for you, James. What if you have someone that's not as skilled as a chiropractor as you are, and they mess someone up? Do you think a lawyer can sue you? Yes! Yes! Respondent superior. We love it. Why do we love it? Because we can include many defendants into a case, right? Joint and several liability. When I was in law school at Loyola here in LA, I had many of these, but I had one professor in particular. He loved it, right? Joint and several liability, Mr. Sharma. You're going to learn this one, right? Why?
To use it, remember.
Yes! And money. Yes. 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 We don't sue because we don't want to get paid. We don't do that. Right? We sue because we want to get paid. You can avoid it, you can deny it, that's the fact of the matter. If you didn't want to get paid, you would not do it. Okay? How do we minimize? So respondent superior is one way, right? What do we do to minimize negligence? We do effective business management. Effective business management combined with what I'm about to get into. Okay? Many of you have your own businesses. How many here have an established corporate entity structure? And what is that? Are you an S Corp? Are you a C Corp? Are you an LLC? You're an S Corp. C Corp. Okay. So, C corps, S corps, they have various different benefits, different costs. C corps double taxation, S corps not. So you have to look at what is beneficial for you. Many of our small business clients, they have business corporate entity structures set up, and then they do these asset protection trusts. Now, what's really the difference between an asset protection trust and a trust? Not very much is the answer. Okay, not very much. But what in particular? What in particular is how you go about and create it. What you do. I love this phrase. Destitute is a wonderful appearance to have. Right? You can have irrevocable trust if you meet the parameters of that. Our good friend O.J. Simpson has one. Right? It's a separate legal entity. It causes problems. Right? You can get a trust here and you say, well, I'm just going to get a revocable trust, and the civil litigators jump in and say, that's not going to protect you. I'm going to do a debtor's exam and I'm going to prove that it's your trust. Really? What if it's named something else? What if it's not the Laura trustee of the Laura Family Trust? What if it's something else? You can still say, well, I'm a civil litigator. I'm going to do a debtor's exam and I'm going to bring you in and I'm going to just examine you and cross and direct and blah, blah, blah. Right? Like I said, there's not 100% guarantee. What you want to do is you want to encourage settlement. 98% of all cases settle. 98% of all cases settle. Did you know that 62% of those cases will not even become cases?